Hello, clickbait victims. This is Charlie. Okay, yeah, so now I have finally did it. So it's this challenge where we try to get one hit point on all of the arena towers in the Kane's Tower. Now it took me an hour doing the calculations to find the correct spells combination to bring the arena towers to 1 HP, and I did the calculations for the Kane's Tower. Now, this isn't rocket science, it's actually quite simple. For the arena towers, all you need is a zap spell and a bunch of rockets. For the Kane's Tower, you just need arrows, fireball, another fireball, and a bunch of rockets. This isn't rocket science. I mean, okay, yeah, like with the rockets. Anyway, and also when I figured out the formula, I tried a few battles with myself. But the problem is, like, I just get mixed up with which account is which, and I sometimes just end up with 10 elixir on one device for like a very long time. And also, like, I tried this battle with my friend named Andy, and he's Master Boy No Fail. And like with Andy, I also tried a few battles. I actually tried about 20 battles. And like that was like it seems easy, but it's really hard. I tried a few battles with him, but unfortunately the elixir wouldn't generate fast enough. So we tried doing it with elixir collectors, but still the elixir wouldn't generate fast enough. So then I tried a few battles with mirrored elixir collectors, but we still couldn't get elixir fast enough to have enough rockets to bring our towers to 1 HP. So then we thought about mirrored rage elixir collectors, but unfortunately we used Ice Spirit to help cycle through our decks, and the Ice Spirit will do a bit of damage to the tower, making it so that we can't bring them to exactly 1 HP. And after that, we just used the skeletons instead. And then we tried a battle, but we mirrored the fireball on the Kane's Tower, and the mirrored fireball is level 8, so that just ends up taking out the Kane's Tower instead of bringing it to 1 HP. And then we tried another battle where we mirrored Rocket, but the Rocket is level 8, so it takes out the tower instead of bringing it to 1 HP. And at that point, we were frustrated. And we tried about like 23 battles in order to do this. And it was so frustrating. And it seems easy, just one zap on the arena tower and a bunch of rockets. And it's really hard, alright? It's harder than you think. And also we had to rage the elixir collectors for faster elixir production. I think these challenges are harder than these world record battles in which we try to get a bunch of a troop. And for some of the battles, we used skeletons to cycle through our deck, but the skeletons ended up taking out all of the elixir collectors. And like it was just so hard. And also for 2 battles, we saw about raging the arena tower, so it will take out the Ice Spirit before the Ice Spirit took out it, and also have the rage spell, rage elixir collectors, but it just wouldn't work. Now we were afraid the skeletons would do too much damage to elixir collectors, but soon we thought we should use skeletons. And I also sat with 10 Alexa for a few seconds of this battle, which was quite hard. And like for some of the battles, we thought we were hopeless. And then for a few battles, I saw about being like calling him on the phone to just so we can stay together. So I just called him on the phone while we were doing the battle, and yeah, basically. Alright, now finally, so at this point, we only had 2 minutes left, and we brought both arena towers down to 1 HP, and we also double fireball and the arrow, the Kane's Tower. And the fireball cannot be a mirrored fireball. It must be a fireball and then have the player cycle back to another fireball. You just can't mirror fireballs. Now, I know this battle is gonna be quite boring, so I'm just gonna speed it up. And yeah, alright, also near the end of the battle, I told him that we should just clear out all of the elixir collectors, so that when all of our towers are at 1 HP, we're gonna take out all of the elixir collectors, like we're gonna clear the elixir collectors for the thumbnail for the video, because if the thumbnail of the video contains a bunch of elixir collectors, it's not gonna be good. And for 3 battles, we ended up with 1 HP on all arena towers, but we didn't have time to clear all the elixir collectors, so the thumbnail for the video wouldn't really be good. And I screenshotted it for the thumbnail, but what happened was the video just ended up not being as good. Like the thumbnail just wouldn't work for the video. Somehow we just couldn't do it. But I'm gonna, yeah, basically. So we still ended up with 1 HP on our arena towers. Okay, this battle was just so epic. It's an epic comeback. Now I'm battling one of the most annoying decks in the game. Now my opponent has the Furnace, a really annoying card. Lot of people think it needs a nerf. The Royal Giant, perhaps the most annoying card in the game. The Elite Barbarians, the most requested card for a nerf ever. Alright, so now my opponent started off doing a lot of damage to my tower with the Royal Giant and Furnace, but I ended up with a counter push, but my counter push just isn't enough. And in my opponent's level 11 archers, I actually do a bit of damage. And also my skeleton army is useless because of the Furnace's fire spirits, but like I just couldn't really afford all these fire spirits. And I gained an elixir advantage, but my opponent had a built-in strategic advantage with the furnace. And I deployed a lava hound and way back on the right lane, and my opponent deployed a royal giant on my side. And I used an inferno dragon because I thought my opponent didn't have a zap in rotation, which my opponent didn't. It ended up my opponent doesn't even have zap. And I thought, since my opponent has a deck like that, my opponent probably wouldn't have Zap or the Log. And I countered my opponent's Royal Giant and Elite Barbarians quite well, and I gained a few positive Lexa trades with that. Because I gained a few huge positive Lexa trades with that, and with such a huge Lexa advantage, I have a minor Babe Dragon, a Meta Minion, and and Lava Pups on the right lane, but unfortunately they just couldn't get to my opponent's tower. And this was when I started getting frustrated, and it seems like my opponent's Royal Giant is probably going to even 3-crown me. I placed my Skami, that was great, it took out the Royal Giant, and that's why you should bring Zap or the Log in your deck, preferably Zap. And now my opponent places another Furnace. Now the first few Fire Spirits were a waste, but that didn't really matter that much because now I have quite a huge counter push. And my opponent had Elite Barbarians on my side of the arena. I used a Zap and a Skeleton Army to counter that, and then my opponent fireballed my tower, and that was when my tower was brought to quite a low health. And my opponent sent in a Goblin Barrel, and at this point I knew I couldn't afford that damage. And then these goblins took my tower down to 255 hit points, and I thought my opponent was gonna place a Royal Giant on my side, so I didn't invest that much elixir. Because my opponent's probably gonna place a Royal Giant on my side, but instead my opponent fireballs it, but my tower is still alive at 4 HP. That's why you should always know the exact damage of all your cards at all times. And yeah, so that was just insane in my opinion. Also, my opponent was higher level than me. He's to level 10. I'm only level 9. That's a huge difference. He has higher level cards, which means a huge advantage. But I don't want this to be a rant video, so I'm gonna be going over the 3-crown draw. Okay, now it's the 3-crown draw challenge. I have tried this like so many times, and I finally done it. First I tried this challenge a bunch of times with my friend, but I just couldn't seem to do it because we can't really coordinate together like when we should like deploy that card. So in case you didn't know, it is possible for a 3-crown but a draw. It's where the player's Kane's towers both get taken out at the exact same time. And it's so hard. It seems easy, but if you're just 1 millisecond off, it's just so hard. I tried this like 20 times with my friend, but all of them failed. And that took up like 40 minutes. And I tried this like 60 times with myself, but I just couldn't do it, and I just wasted 2 hours doing that because I was all 1 millisecond off. But I finally did it. It's just so hard. It's a lot harder than you think. I finally managed to get a 3-crown draw. So first, we should try to get our Kane's tower down to manageable range. And by the way, I'm playing on both accounts. Like the account Charlie and the other account TS Fan is both the same account, by the way, if you didn't know. Alright, now for some of the battles I tried getting the King's Tower down to a very low HP so a fireball can finish them off, but the problem is it just took out the King's Tower instead. And once I tried using a peck and a bomber to bring the King's Tower down to very low HP, but it just took it out instead. And also for the first 5 battles, I used a bunch of rockets to get it to low HP, but the problem with rockets is that it took a very long while, and I knew it would take a bunch of battles. Now here, I figured out that I had a bit of lag on my other phone because like on the TS fan account it's usually a 1.5 second lag, so I let off my thing on the other account 0.5 seconds sooner, and that's how you get a 3-crown draw. It's not impossible, alright? It's not impossible. And yeah, basically, so that's it for this video. I hope you liked this video. If you think this was clickbait, feel free to yell me in the comment section below. But anyway, this has been Charlie. Peace out.